Hello, hello, hello. This is Els coming from Mimi's Crafty Corner. And today, I'm going to do these. These are tulle dangles for your books and things. And they have a little clip at the top. And we're going to do kind of a scaled down version. Okay? I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this without any jewelry making skills. For those of you that do have jewelry making skills, this one is done using a cone brace. And you simply loop the tool with a piece of wire or thread, pull it through the top, feed a large ring through, and then pull it back down, okay? And if you have the tools to do that, then by all means do that. If you do not have the tools to do that, I'm going to show you two other ways to do this. And we're going to start with the first one. So let me get this one out of the way. So the first way we're going to do it is this one right here, okay? Pretty easy. This uses a bail that you can pick up at Michael's, and it looks like this, okay? It's two little flat pieces with flaps, and for the purpose of this, we are going to be using tulle that is the half roll size of tulle. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a piece of this, and I like to do about 14 inches or so. So I'm just going to grab this and cut it off. I'll worry about it being straight later. Okay, let me get this put away. And this part's pretty easy. You just need a pair of flat pliers. Now this pair here happens to have Teflon on it. It's designed for these types of bails. But if you just have the regular flat kind, that works too. And what I'm going to do is fold this in half. And then up here at the top, I'm just going to kind of gather this into itself. Make it small. Okay? Now, on this little fastener, there's a couple of little teeth. So when I put this tool in, I'm just going to make sure that it's small enough. And you could tie this with a little piece of string. I'm just going to make sure that it fits between those two upright prongs. And then I'm going to press over this piece. Okay? I'm going to use my pliers to press that down. And then I'm going to use my pliers to press in the sides. If you don't have the pliers, you can put it on your desk and push it over and it will go, okay? This is very, very pliable metal here. So push that one down. And then we're going to come around to the other side. And we're going to push the other one in. Just like that. And that's actually going to hold that in there pretty good. And then we'll decide how long we want this to be. And I like it to be about 5 inches or so. So I'm just going to cut off the extra tool. I'm not going to get rid of that because I can use that for something else, so we'll save it. Okay? And that gives us our little pieces. Now this is what it looks like with single, just, one piece of tulle folded over. This is what it looks like when you have two pieces of tulle folded over. So you can see already there's already a difference in them, okay? All right, so I'm going to get these out of my way, and I'll be right back, and we're going to talk about putting some dangles together and some other tools that we're going to be using, okay? Okay, so I zoomed the camera in a little bit because I like to do that whenever we're working with any kind of jewelry pieces. It just makes it easier for you guys to see. So first we're going to be using a length of chain. And for about a 5-inch one, I like to use about 1 inch of chain. And when it's all said and done, it comes down about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches. So, if you want it longer, by all means, use a larger chain. Okay. I have some flat crystals and some teardrop crystals here that I'm going to be using, as well as some spherical ones. I have some seed beads, some large seed beads, and then I have some biconals in various sizes. We have some split rings and some straight head pins. And straight head pins are the ones that have the flat piece on the end. Those are the ones that we're going to be using for this project, and you need about 5 or 6 of those, okay? So, in addition to these, we're going to be using some filler pieces, and that's going to be these Aurora Borealis crystals that I have, and these are in the smoke color, and also some AB crystals in clear, okay? We'll be using them intermittently. We're going to be using some pliers today, and I'm going to be using just a pair of flat needle nose pliers, and possibly some round nose pliers, just to hold on to things, and I will be using my loop tool today. Now, if you do not have a loop tool, then you will be using the round nose pliers to make your loop. So all I'm going to be doing today is taking the pins and just building some dangling charms, okay? So I will pick up an AB crystal. And I'm going to add one of these round ones to it. And then we'll add another AB crystal to this. And that's it. I really don't want these very large, so I'm going to go ahead and make them just small like this and lay them to the side. I'm going to finish up using all of these beads, and I want to make about one for every other link. So we count the top link as a link because there'll be a loop on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to make about 5 of these dangle charms. So I'm going to go ahead, and I want to do that in various lengths. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back as soon as I have those put together, and then I'll show you how to loop them. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is prepare our chain. And in doing that, I like to use a 6mm jump ring. This is kind of my go-to jump ring. So I'm just going to open one, and I'm just going to feed it through one of the links on the chain here, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it. Okay. Now, remember, when you're working with jewelry, when you have your two ends like this, you don't want to pull them apart. You want to twist them this way. Okay? And because if you pull them this way, not only are you going to deform the loop, but you're going to weaken the metal at the bottom. So you don't ever want to do this with them. You want to move them this way. Okay? In either direction. So we're going to do that to begin with and get a loop on the top of our chain. Now, I do need to add a clip to it, and I will get to that, but we're not going to do it right at this second. The first thing we're going to do is turn these jewels that are on these pins into dangles. And the way I'm going to do that today is with my looping tool. There's a little hole in the back here, so I'm going to put the pin through the hole, and then I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to pull down a little bit on the piece, and then I'm just going to go around. It automatically cuts it for me and creates my loop and offsets it so that I can put it on. Now, if you don't have this tool, and you have to do this with the round nose pliers, you will find this position where you want to put the loop. You're going to cut off the excess wire, and then you're going to take your round nose pliers and you're going to put that where you want the diameter to be, and you're going to turn until you cannot turn anymore, and then you're not going to let go. You're simply going to move the pliers back around, and you're going to continue your loop. Okay? And then right at the top here, just kind of clip it back a little bit, and that's going to help you to get that loop right where you want it. Okay? Easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. There will be a link to these pliers in the description below. It is not a paid endorsement or anything like that. I just find them to be very helpful. You can get them on Amazon. You can also find them at Michael's. And I believe that Hobby Lobby carries them now. But, you know, it's hard to say what Hobby Lobby is going to have from one week to the next. But I do know that they are available at Michael's. I do not know if they're available at Joann's, but I do know that they are available at Michael's. All right, so now that I have all of these done, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the scraps and stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so all of these should be open. If they're not, you open them in the same manner that you open a jump ring. You push it to the side and not separating it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the first one on the first link of chain. After the jump ring. And then to close it, you're just going to grab that loop at the top and twist it back, okay? You don't need to clip it or rotate it or anything like that. Just clip it back, just turn it, twist it back. Once you twist it back, then it's hooked on there, okay? Now this wire is a little bent, so I am going to straighten out the wire. And to straighten out the wire, I'm going to grab the whole loop and bring it to straight, okay? There, that's straight. All right, so I have that on. Now I'm going to skip a link in the chain and put the next one on. So got one on the first link. Go to the third link. Now if it's not open enough, I can always open it up. Yep, that one's already sealed. Let's get that sucker open. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This one right here. And so I'm basically going to be skipping a link in the chain with every one of these. And then I'm just turning it back. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these on, every one of these links, and then I'll be right back and I'll show you how to put this onto our dangle piece. All right, so to finish this up, what we're going to do is we're going to take a lobster claw and we're going to connect that to a jump ring. And then we're going to add this jump ring to the top of our poof. And remember, we have to go through 2 holes up here, because there's one front and back, okay? So we want to make sure that we get through both of them. And then we're going to close that jump ring. Again, remember, we're not pulling apart, we're twisting side to side, okay? So now once we have that together, we can press it flush with our pliers. And then we're going to come over here. Now remember, we put a jump ring on the end of this, okay? Right here at the top. And that was basically just to anchor the chain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that jump ring and another one. We're going to open it up. We're going to hook this jump ring. Helps if you get the plier out of the way. We're going to hook that jump ring, and then we're going to hook onto this jump ring that we put our lobster claw on. And then we're going to seal this. All right, so now we have this very elegant jeweled dangle. And if we wanted to, you can even add some ribbon to this. So I'm going to show you that version as well. Okay, so give me just a moment. I'm going to clean some of this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to show you how to do this again. All right, no fancy connectors, not a problem. What I have here is the piece of tulle that I cut off, and a second piece of tulle. I'm just going to lay them together and find the middle. Okay, about the middle. And what I have here is a jump ring. This is a fairly good sized jump ring. It's about an 8mm, and it's substantially larger than what I normally use. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this right off the bat. Okay? And then I'm going to feed the tulle through the jump ring. Now, I like to use hemostats to do this. It just makes my life easier. And I'm going to bring these up till I find that middle point. And then I'm going to take a piece of hemp cord or string or whatever I have. Okay? And I'm going to begin to wrap this around as tight as I possibly can. And once I have it nice and tight, then I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. In a nice square knot. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut those ends off. Okay, so it's not pretty, but it works. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my length here. And then I can go ahead and just add my beads to this like I normally would, just using my small jump ring here to add a connection to the top, and then another small jump ring to add my tassel piece, okay? And this will actually allow you to add multiple pieces of tulle and ribbon and everything else that you want using this method, okay? All right, so let's take a look. So the first one I have is the one that I did as the demonstration, and this one is very full, and the reason that it is so full is because I have the jewelry findings on here, and this kind of helps to compress the tulle down. It just makes it easier to get more into it, make it fuller. So that's the first one. And then the second one that we did was this little one right here. And this was just a single fold of tulle. I went ahead and rounded the edge and then slid it up the center. And I added some of these little water drop beads to this. And I think it just kind of gave it more of a, I don't know why, but it just reminds me of like a dragonfly. So let me hold this one up here so you guys can see. See, it just reminds me a little bit of a dragonfly, and I like that one. So I finished that one up. And then we talked about ribbon. So I went ahead and I made one with some ribbon. And this was pretty simple. We used the fold over clasp on this one, and just a single piece of tulle that we folded in half. We added a couple of little pieces of ribbon to it, put them all inside there, and just squished it all down. And then I just added some beads to it, and it's just a really cute little dangle. And then the last one was the one that we did together, and this is the one you do without having any of the clips or anything. Just folding the tulle over, tying it off with a piece of hemp cord or thread or however you want to do that, and then just adding the dangle to it. And it comes out just as cute as the others. Just adorable. And that's it, guys. Those are my little tulle and jewel dangles. Again, if you want to, you can always round the edges down here, or you could wrap them out if you want it to. However you want to make them look, it's entirely up to you. And that's all I have for you today. So if you haven't done so already, hit the red button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends, because I'm making these things and all kinds of other things. Till the next time, bye-bye.